What's up, guys? Today is another starting of a new series tutorial, and that is the Tetris tutorial. Now, if you notice this asset, good, I guess. I haven't drawn this. I got it from the Scratch community, which I can show you how to get this. You really don't have to draw your own too. Well, if you want to, you can, or you can get this and modify it. It's your choice. Just go to Scratch. Search Tetris with no code, and then you'll find this Tetris with no code by Jalen or something like that. That's how it's read. Well, obviously there's a lot of version of this because people remix this project, but this is the original one, so you can click on that. And then you could press the C inside, and then you see the assets I am using. Yeah, you could put these in your backpack and then put it in your project. Pretty cool. And then let's start by actually coding. So when green flag is clicked, we don't really want the main one to show. Let's make it hide. And then there's gonna be the movement variable and the top Y variable. So like that. For the movement variable, how it's decided is super simple. If you see, the tile is 22 by 22. Now the movement is actually 23, which you might have sort of got the idea. It's just one side length of your sprite plus one. That's all it is. It's super easy. So now let's set our movement to 23 and then set our top Y to 160. So what the top Y is, it's the Y position of the top layer of the row. Oh, plus, by the way, this project is shared in my profile, so go check it out. Yeah. And then we could do go to negative 140 and then the top Y. That's all you gotta do for the position setting. And then we're gonna use the grid rendering sort of thing. So yeah, repeat 15 times and then 10 times. We could get a create clone of myself, and then we could change X by our movement amount every single time. And let's go ahead and hide those two variables because we really don't need to show. So you get what I mean. Now I can duplicate the go to block and then drag that into the repeat loop. So repeat 15 time loop. And then now you go to operators, get a subtracted by, and then go to the motion, get a Y position, subtract from the top Y. Yeah, that's good. And then yeah, that's gonna render it all. Oh yeah, but here's the thing. When I start as a clone, it should show and then switch its costume to empty before it does. And then, okay, so that actually has to be movement, not top Y. So, yeah, you see it sort of like that. The problem is that it's actually supposed to be negative 104, not negative 140. I don't know why I messed up there, but yeah. It's pretty cool, it renders in like that, but we don't want to wait billions of years just waiting for the tiles to render in. So let's go to my blocks, create a block, name it clone, and then we have to hit that run without screen refresh button or it will be for nothing. We can drag this entire code in and then just drag that single code in there. Now you get an instant render. Now that's pretty cool. And then I think that should be good for now. So let's clean it up, save your project, and then let's go to the next sprite, which is the block. The block actually has most of the codes, which probably makes sense. If it doesn't, just see. Yeah, when green flag is clicked, we're gonna hide. And then we actually need another variable, which is gonna be named game on, and then a question mark. That's an option, but I'll do that. Click OK. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to wait until the game on variable is equal to 1, which basically means is the game on? Yes, it is. Now we're going to set the game on to 1 here, and then we're going to set the game on to 0 before you set any other variables. That is actually important for some reason. Well, not some reason, because this will trigger without the cells actually being rendered in, even though it's actually going to be rendered in pretty fast. It's an instant render. But you still need that. Now let's go to looks, get a show. And then now it's simple. Let's go to control, get a forever loop. And then we're gonna go to the operators. Yeah, your block is gonna go to the operators. That's not the thing though. So let's get a subtract for the Y position. We have to subtract it from the Y position, and it's pretty simple how. So just get a division and movement divided by 2. The movement, if I haven't explained, is the amount of space your block is moving every tick. That is good explanation. Now let's switch our costume to the costume. Okay, we need to get that, and then costume name of the next block. But obviously it's gonna take some time for us to code that in, so let's drag that out and then put a pick random 1 to 7 for some testing later on. So that's gonna help us a lot. And then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another variable. We can name it bottom reached question mark. And then we could select that for the sprite only variable, and then I'm not gonna bother with the underscore thing for today. Now, reason why I refreshed the page was because the variable wasn't showing, and then now it's showing. If you don't get what I mean, just go back a few seconds. You'll see that the variable wasn't showing, and then to solve that problem, yeah, just refresh your page. Now you need another variable, and that is the speed variable. This is the speed of your block dropping. Why this is important is because when we hit the down arrow, the block is going to come down faster. So yeah, because you don't want to wait there for like billions of years for the blocks to come down when you already know that you want your block to go there, right? You want to move on. Now, now's the block dropping part. Repeat until go to operators, get a equal sign. Our bottom reached equals 1, which technically means that the thing has reached the bottom. Until then, we're going to repeat this. Wait the speed second. So smaller the speed, the faster it actually is. Yeah, that's how it works. And then now let's go to motion, get a change Y by, and then we can change our Y by movement, which I previously explained why this has to be, is because movement is the amount of movement that your block is going to move every tick. Now let's go to control, get an if statement, and then we have to check if our thing, the block, is touching the edge. So let's get that block. So edge, or the touching color of another block, which, yeah, there. Let's stop it like that, and then we can select the middle of a block, the middle part. So if you see this middle part and the background part is different. This is a light gray and that's a white. So you could select that middle light gray, so it'll get the collisions between the blocks. Pretty cool. And then now we could keep on moving on, because yeah, we want to move on, don't we? Or do we? Yeah. So let's duplicate that and then put that there. But now we run, the block is going up. That's not right. So we go to operators, get a times -1. Or another method is just 0 minus movement. That'll flip the positive and negative. But this is the method I use. I think it's a lot simpler to understand. If it's not, just use the 0 minus movement. It doesn't really matter which. Now let's go to the variables, get set bottom reached to 1. Because we've touched another block or the edge, now we say that, oh, it reached the bottom. It's the limit that you could go. So let's set it to 1. And now let's go to the controls, get if statement. This is the game ending code. So if our y position is actually greater than the top y minus the movement, because if you see there's a gap right there, then sadly you've lost the game. The block has reached the top, and yeah. So now we are going to set our game on variable to 0 because the game's over, and then we can broadcast game over and then wait until the game over message broadcast has been through all of them and all the code according to it has been ran. Now let's go to the control panel and then stop all scripts. And then now what we could do is broadcast replace. So okay, that will go right here. And then we could broadcast remove full rows. Yes, there you go. And then that should be working fine right now. We can't obviously control the block yet, but you can see the blocks dropping, and then oh, you know what? The block is vanishing. And why is that? It's because we're not switching the costume of our cells, and then each time it reaches the bottom, it goes back up to the top, switches its costume, and start dropping again. So let's go ahead and go to the cell, and then see what we can do now. So let's get a when I receive block. When I receive the replace, then it'll try to replace it. So if the touching color block, and then we can select that middle part of a thing, which is technically a light gray, which is also 0090. And that is actually 000 for the background, but yeah, that's not really useful. Anyways, let's switch our shape to sensing, and then block and the costume name of the block. They have the same exact costume name, so yeah, we could use that. And then now if we see, oops. Oh, okay, so that's actually it's being stuck right there. It's because they're touching the color. And then guess what? That is not what we want. So what I forgot was that it has to be in this if statement, or it'll just run out in one tick. Now you see the block actually dropping without getting stuck. And then you see another block dropping. When it touches that block, it stops, you know. And then, yeah, that's actually looking really, really good. Now it has reached the top row, so the game ended. It stopped all. Pretty cool, pretty nice. And let's move on. We could go to my blocks, create a block. Let's get update shape. And then we could get add a boolean. And then we could get it bottom reached. And then we could, we don't have to. But if you want to, you can. No one is stopping you. To hit that round out screen refresh button. So we can do it non-round out screen refresh. And then we could go to control, and then if equals game on is 1, then we're gonna do if the key up arrow is pressed, and then now we have to do if actually let's just do if bottom reached. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do that. Click OK. Just get rid of that. What I was thinking was a little bit different, I guess, but I think this is going to be a little bit more efficient. So if bottom reached is equal to 0. That's cool. Yeah. Now what we're going to do is if up arrow is pressed, we want to rotate a little. So let's rotate 90 degrees. But if we are touching the two colors, okay, one is the light gray, and then the other one is the wall right here. Then we're gonna rotate back, cause why not? Like, why not? We could do negative 90 degrees, or we might as well just switch it to this 90 degrees, cause who knows what's easier for you is a lot better probably. And yeah, now we could duplicate that one time and then duplicate both of that one time, and then we get 4 of them. Now we can switch this to the down arrow and the left arrow and the right arrow, and then we could get rid of all of that. And then now we could go to the variables and then set our speed to 0. That's for the down arrow. Yeah. And then we could go to the motion, get to change our X by our movement. And then we could duplicate that, get rid of the inside thing, and then duplicate that, and then put it in there, and get rid of this, because we don't need it. Let's go to the operators, multiplication. Let's times it by -1 from our movement. And then we could duplicate that, and get rid of this, actually. And then, and get rid of that too. And then actually, sort of messed up, the left arrow is supposed to be like that. And now if you see, okay. Now I do know why it's not working, but if you haven't realized, well, I never knew it was gonna work, but the second it didn't work, I knew why it didn't work. Try to guess. Leave it in the comments below why. And the reason is because we haven't used the block yet. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that. Forever, update shape. And then if we run now, there's going to be no delay between the keys, so it'll go like super speed, like that. And then that's probably not what we want. Yeah, this is definitely not what we want. Okay, so, okay, now what we're going to do is wait until not key any is pressed. Oops, any. Yeah, that's what we want. Now we're gonna have to spam our keys to do it, which is definitely a better thing, I think. Yeah. Okay, so now let's try to go on with this. But actually, this is it. That's all the code for the block. Yeah. Can now replace that with that. And then I think what we might as well do is I'll show you the case right now. Okay, so let's fast play that actually. Okay, so there you go. See, there's a line right there, but guess what? That's not vanishing. And then I've actually made a mistake where I was testing it and I just replaced it with that, but that's fine. What we're gonna do is try to get rid of that, and then that will help us a lot. And then now let's go to the cell. I mean the ruler. So basically, what the ruler does is just checks if there's any lines that is complete. That's what the ruler does. You're like, and then if you were like, what does this ruler do? I don't think it's useful. Well, it checks if there's any line that's been finished. Yeah. So now let's go when green flag is clicked. go to looks, get a set ghost effect to 100. And now let's show. And then before we do, let's set our score, which can be for this sprite only actually. We could set our score to 0. Yeah. And then now let's actually show our score. And then double click on it to make it this thing. So then let's drag it right there. That is good. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the events, get a when I receive. When I receive, remove full rows, and then we're gonna create another variable, full rows, and now we can click that for this sprite only, and then we could hide the variable, and then we can set that to 0, and then motion, and then go to 0, and then addition for the Y position, and then we can do the Y position of the block. So, like so, and then we could add the movement times 1.5, which will make us be able to check from a little bit above the actual bottom layer. So, yeah, get what I mean. And now let's go to the repeat 4. We can actually make that 4. We don't want to check too many. 4 is actually the maximum, I believe. And then let's get an if statement. And go to operators, get a and, because the longest block is actually 4, and then you sort of get what I mean. And then you get not touching color. White. And our y is greater than the thing, so negative 163, and our actually lowest row has a y position of negative 162, so yeah. And then we could change the full rows by 1, and then go to events, get a broadcast, remove, yeah, and wait. Let's go to motion, get a change y by, and then we can change y by the movement times negative 1. So let's get the movement variable, and now we could change our score by like the biggest math in this project right now. Let's get an add, multiply the full rows times the 100. So 100, and then another times by 100, and then full row subtracted by 1. Yeah, okay, that's good, very good actually. Now what's gonna happen is we're gonna have to go to the cell and then remove that thing. You know, we have to receive the message when we send it. If we don't receive it, the sprite is gonna get mad and then blow up. That's obviously not the case, but you get what I mean. And then now let's duplicate that, and then we could when I receive remove, and then we're gonna do if else, and then if we're touching the ruler, so there you go. And then we could go to the motion, get a set Y to the top Y, and then we will be able to switch our costume to the empty costume. There you go. Now, we go to the controls, get an if statement, and then go to the operators, get if the Y is greater than the Y position. I mean the Y position of the ruler. Then we could change our Y by movement times negative 1. Yeah, we're actually like sort of like checking one by one. if you get what I mean. And then that should make us be able to actually get rid of the line. Now I'm gonna try to make another line, cause you know. Oops, that is obviously a mistake. Okay. Okay. Good. It's sort of messed up. That's okay. We have infinite amount of these blocks, which I don't know. Maybe my personal favorite, but yeah, you saw that line just deleting, which is pretty cool, pretty nice, and pretty cool, pretty nice. If you get what I mean. There you go, another line deleted. And then you see that negative blah 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 score. And then that's actually because when there's 0 full rows every time a block lands, that'll actually equal negative 100, which definitely we don't want that. So let's get an if statement. If operators go to equals, get a equal. Yeah, get a equal. That's, yeah. Now let's go to variables, get a full rows. If full row equals 0, we can change score by 100 and then offset that. Ooh, that's 1. So 100. Now we see that every time this order block lands, it stays a 0. It doesn't like make it wrong value. Get what I mean? Okay, now I found an easy way to do that. Yeah, now it gives us the proper score, and then it doesn't give us negative scores whenever we mess up. It's like not really messed up, or like, I guess, have a bad luck. I don't know. Anyways, that's pretty cool. Now there's only one sprite left, or actually, there's only one more code. There's actually one more code here. Make a variable. It could be for the sprite only, or the cloud variable. It's your choice. If you have cloud variable, I prefer the cloud variable. If you don't, just do that for the sprite only. In this case, I'm just going to do cloud variables. The code is going to be the same, so yeah, don't really like be afraid of it. We can name it global high. And then if you're using the for the sprite only, just type in high, because it's not going to be the global high. And then if yours is for the sprite only, you don't have to touch anything. But guess what? Ours is not. I mean, technically mine is not. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and then edit this text. That looks fine to me. And then now let's go to the rulers, get an event when green flag is clicked. And then forever, we're going to check if our score is actually greater than the global high or just high. We can set the global high to the score or the high to the score. Get what I mean? Yeah. Now we can start coding in the next block, which is going to be super easy. There's only like 5 codes, 6 codes. Let's get it when green flag is clicked, and then switch our costume to pick a random 1 to 7. Nice. Let's go to looks, get a show. Now duplicate 2 of that, and then go to events when I receive. Yeah, we're definitely missing a block. We could actually just go ahead and broadcast right here. Update costume. After it switches to costume. So now when I receive update costume, it's going to do that. Actually, we actually need one more sprite, and that is the game over sprite. And then this one is super obvious. It's your choice how to make. I'm just going to type in game over and then add some thickness to it, which is going to be 5 only. And then now here's the cool part. It gives you like those spiky things at the end for no reason. I do know why, but you know, for no reason, because Do we want that? Did we say that we want that? No, but do we now want it? Yes, because it looks cool? Yes. Now let's go to the code. The code is like 4 codes. When green flag is clicked, it's going to hide. Wow, that's very impressive. Now let's show when we receive game over. Wow, game over can do that? Pretty cool. We can save that. Click that green flag. Now we see the next block we will get, and then the block we currently have that is moving pretty goddamn well. I will be back after I die. Yeah, there you go. I've messed up super bad. Okay, let me give me one more chance, boys, cause I'm not usually that bad, you know. And I'm sort of honest, I guess. I don't know, not really. So I didn't cut that out. Yeah, so you guys can see how bad I am at this. Okay, let's up there. Here's another mistake. Oh, okay, another mistake. Another mistake. Another mistake. How good is that? There you go. 2,300. Now I think that should be the global high. There you go. And actually double click on that, make it like that, you know. Okay, now that video was super long, but guess what? Uh, don't guess what. It is long. If you enjoyed it, just hit that subscribe button, like button. If you didn't, just hit that subscribe button and like button. It's just that amazing how you just stayed here till the end, cause like, you know, most of you leave. Sad life. But peace.